Hi, I'm Jason Pierce. I'm a personal trainer, and in this video, I want to talk about aging. In fact, there's so much information about aging that I'm going to break this into two parts. For this video, I'm going to talk about it in more general terms, and then next week's video will be very specific about things that we can do to help ourselves age better. Obviously, we all age. It's just part of life. There are certain things that happen in the aging process that are just inevitable. As we get past the age of 30, we start losing muscle mass. After we hit about 70, we really start losing muscle mass. So there becomes this battle of trying to gain as much muscle mass as we can and then maintain it as we get older. Systems in our body just stop working as efficiently as they used to when we were younger. And this is because the body is constantly regenerating itself. Cells are dying and new ones are forming, and as we age, that process itself slows down. And then that affects everything. For some people, the brain stops functioning as well as it used to when they were younger. All of this, of course, ultimately ends in death for all of us. And there are different schools of thought on how to approach this. And the one that makes the most sense to me is that we want to spend as much time living and as little time dying as possible. What do I mean by that? It means we don't want to end up spending our last 5 to 10 to even 15, 20 years in a hospital bed or tied to a bed or on a whole bunch of medication or constantly dealing with medical issues that make life not really that much fun as we're older. It would be far better to have the end come quickly so that there's very little of that when we finally do pass. Like a curve where you want it to just drop off. So you age, and then you're done. As opposed to you age and then you spend a whole lot of time gradually coming down the other side. There are several conditions that lead to poor quality of life as we age. For most people, we can control this to a certain extent. There are four major illnesses, sicknesses that can affect us as we age. One is cancer. Because our bodily systems are not working as well as they used to, cancer can come along a lot easier as we age because there's not the systems in there to fight it off. And that is somewhat inevitable for some people, but you can try to be vigilant and monitor your own health so that if you do get cancer, you can catch it early and deal with it. Then there's heart disease, and that's circulatory issues in general. We can lump all that together. And this comes from poor diet sometimes, smoking obviously, and there's a certain level of, as we age, our arteries just get more clogged. But again, you can stay on top of this and deal with it before it's a problem. All right, so we get cancer, we get heart disease. Then there's metabolic disease. And metabolic disease is things like diabetes and other issues involving eating too much or eating improperly. And this can lead to heart disease and cancer. There are things we can do to deal with that as well. So we've got heart disease, we've got cancer, we've got metabolic disease. And the fourth one is dementia, so like Alzheimer's, different types of dementia that can happen. There's a lot more scientific research into these conditions now. And there are promising things happening in the world of dealing with mental decline as we age. But there's certain things that we can do that can help with all four of these. The first one is exercise. Believe it or not, exercise can help prevent and or mitigate the effects of all four of these things. There's really good evidence that exercise can help the brain stay sharp longer, can stave off Alzheimer's, can stave off dementia. There's really good evidence that exercise can help with cancer recovery and prevention because strong muscles actually build up our immune system. Obviously, exercise can help with metabolic disease because as you exercise, you lose weight and you get healthier. And those issues that are part of metabolic disease can lessen tremendously. And of course, exercise strengthens your heart and your circulatory system. Exercise is the #1 prescription for aging better. Now, I'll get into specifics about what kind of exercise and how to exercise in the next video. But I just want to say that that is the one thing that we can all do that's free, easy, and incredibly effective to help with all 4 of these issues. All right, I want to quick drop in something about blue zones. You might have heard about these. These are parts of the world where the average life expectancy is much higher than other places in the world. And not only life expectancy, but people are thriving into their 90s and above. There's lots of theories about this, but one that seems to come back a lot is that it's a social atmosphere. Being social, being with people, really makes a huge difference in our quality of life as we age. So a lot of these blue zones, it's just a bunch of people supporting each other. Everybody knows each other. They all go for walks. They all eat very similar diets. And the community aspect of it really fosters mental health. So we get the physical side of things. We get the mental side of things. Being social, having a really good social group is huge for aging better. And finally, there's the medical piece. Right now in America, our medical care situation is not great. We're one of the worst countries in the world in terms of healthcare. You got insurance that's too high, you've got prices that are out of control, and people just avoid going to the doctor because it's so expensive. People go into debt because of going to the doctor. Our system is not great, and on top of that, it tends to be reactive rather than proactive. So for example, there are some great medicines that can help you with diabetes, for example. But until you have diabetes, they won't give you those medicines. So it seems to me if you're pre-diabetic, that's when you should have the medicine so you don't get diabetic. But that's not the way the system is set up right now. So the best thing that we can do for ourselves in the medical world is be our own advocates. Don't wait for your doctor to tell you to get a certain test. Get the test yourself. And again, I will give you very specific ways to do this in the next video. In general, as we age, things happen, obviously. Our bodies start shutting down. And there are ways for us to ease that, make it less of a problem as we age. Think about it as like an IRA for your health. If you put some money into your health now, you won't have to put a ton of money into your health later. For example, if you hire a personal trainer now, you might spend a couple $1,000s, but that could save you tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars later. And the things we can do right now to help ourselves age is to move more, exercise, to socialize more. Make sure you've got a really good group of friends, people that you can share things with and grow old together with. Be our own health advocates medically, and then eat better. You can still enjoy food, just make smarter choices in general. You can take all this to an extreme, and there are people that do this that just focus everything in on, I've got to exercise for 3 hours a day, and I've got to eat this specific diet all the time, and I have to do all this stuff, and it's very regimented. And if you want to do that, you can, but to me, that sucks some of the joy out of life. Part of aging also is enjoying life, and that's what the social aspect is. So you don't have to be miserable to do all this stuff. All it means is adding some movement to your life, thinking a little bit more about the medical side of things, making sure you have good social interactions, and then just start making some good choices with food when you can. All right, so that was the very general overview of aging. So in the next video, I'm going to be very specific. How to exercise better, how to be proactive medically, some plans for socializing as we age as a group, and a little bit about diet as well. So keep an eye out for that next week. Please like and subscribe, tell your friends, and as usual, stay healthy.